The implication on national security is obvious. You would have seen that the communities where these people are operating already are suffering from the effects of the activities. The communities, the armed security agencies, the armed forces have become under severe attacks from them. And so they are expanding and moving down far, south. So it's obvious that if they are left unchecked, the whole of Sokoto and Kebbi states will become very much engulfed. The activities, some local governments already are under their control. So to that extent, they are quite a very serious threat. But what is even more concerning is that it appears we are not learning from history. If you see the origin of how they came in, some of them were actually from some of the literatures that are available so far. Like Kabir said, there's a lot of studies being done on them, but so some of the those available already specifies that some of them were invited by some of the herders to protect them, and people were moving anyhow. I remember in 1998 when the National Joint Task Force was established. The northern parts of Borno, Yobe, and some local governments in Borno had gone deliberately across to Niger Republic and recruited the Fulani militia force, the Fulani milice that was set up by the Fulanis in Niger to help them tackle the activities of the Tubo Arabs, rebels, who are ravaging them because the Nigerian government was not able to protect them. And so to that extent, you could see it repeating itself here. People are coming because of the inadequacy of security in our own environment. And for the fact that when they were there, we had to first of all deal with that threat first, clear them out of our territory to regain our territorial integrity. So you have the same thing repeating over 20 years ago, people infiltrating in the country, and they are being seen. They said about 2017. What has happened to them? That's the question we should be asking. What happened when we noticed some of these people, even if they are not violent? Because the problem is that the moment you allow foreigners free reign into your country, they can turn into anything. In the first place, they believe in stealth and secrecy. So if they come in, they will come in as friends. They will come in using religion. They will come in using all sort of things. And that's why I've kept saying that, I've been saying that we must separate national security from religion and from our tribes. Because the question of saying these people are our tribal people, they are our religious people, let's welcome them, and they are foreigners who come in later on and turn against us, forgetting that we are the same religious people, same people of the same tribe, then we must learn to separate these things seriously and start dealing with these situations probably as national security problem. The problem that will bring sentiments of religion and tribe into these things, we have lost it. We must change this scenario. And so it is important that once we notice some of these things happening, we must take decisive action against them. And even those who are collaborating with them, they are known. If you go now and do some proper research, you will identify those who covered them, those who are using them for their own selfish interests, and those who provides the wherewithal for them. In the first place, when they arrive, they don't live off the land. They live with the people. Some people welcome them. They buy their foods from citizens of Nigeria. They buy medicine for their animals and for themselves within Nigeria. They buy spare parts and petroleum oil and lubricants for their machines from Nigerian market. And also all their requirements, they buy them from people. And everybody in the community will know that these are foreigners. So what have we done about that? And I'm sure there were security operatives embedded in those local governments. What did they do? What action did they take? Did they take anything that is appropriate? If they did, who did they send these reports to? What about the civil authorities that were sent to them? What action did they take? I think we need to start interrogating some of these things and punishing people, sanctioning people, no matter how highly placed they are, once they play with issues of national security importance, that turns to engulf us and put us in this very bad state. I believe that we need to start putting sanctions in place. The DSS that were there, the police that were there, the civil defense that were there, the immigration and customs staffs were there that were there. Some of them, what happened? What happened when this happened? What happened to the reports that came off the line? Did the reports get up to the National Security Advisor, the JIB, and if it got there, what happened? So it's very important that we must start looking at these things. And you see, it's something that we must learn. Like I said, if we don't learn from history, we'll keep reporting history. In 2018, when I was the president of the National of the alumni of the Association of the National Defense College, we organized a national security seminar with the theme, Fighting Tomorrow's Warfare Today. And we identified that non-state actors are going to split, they are going to mutate, they are going to increase, and they are going to come in their numbers. And the government must step up their game and put up one. Intelligence must be paramount, because at the moment you are able to nip them at the bud, you are able to stop them. But once you allow them to come in and start getting control and gaining followership within the society, it becomes quite difficult for you. We also identified that the Boko Haram group and the rest were going to split into splinters, and they did. We identified also too that what we needed to do was that, like the AIG stated, is that what is our strategic interest with our strategic neighbors? We must continue to redefine it. Look, what are we talking about? Even if our interest supersedes what we think of defending what? If the Nigerian government is a military regime and it is in our own strategic interest to make sure that we collaborate with them for our own national security, we have to. But when we allow them go because we think they are Faria people, they are this thing, the consequent event is what we are having, because they will have unchecked this thing. But thank God, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Musa, some months ago was in Niger to reestablish contact with the Nigerian authority, particularly about their involvement in the Multinational Joint Task Force. I think we need to go beyond that. We need at the political level to engage the Nigerians, engage them in such a way that we keep these people out, that allowing them to push them into our country unabated, and they start creating more serious problems for us. I think what we are running from is going to be more difficult for us to tackle, because the moment we have these terrorist groups moving in and out unchecked and operating within our territories, it becomes something that the whole country will be engulfed with terrorists and bandits all over the place. I think we need to do about that. Then one thing we need to check is that what are their sources? We must go beyond people thinking that they have so much arms. If you see the machine guns that they are playing with and the ammunition, these are expensive. Who are those financing them? Because terrorism financing is an international crime. And so we can go around everywhere to see that they are blocked. Even in Nigeria, the only time they mentioned those who are financing Boko Haram, that was all. Until today, what has happened to them, we don't even know. We must track terrorist financing. We must track their sponsors. There are those, no matter how highly placed they are here, national security does not respect anybody. Even if it's the president that is involved in sponsoring terrorist activities, it must be brought to his ideas that, look, your actions are this thing, but as the commander-in-chief, he has the sole responsibility of protecting and defending the Constitution and our territorial integrity. So it behoves on him to make sure that everybody in authority down the line must be reined in. And this idea of saying that state governors, when you see some of them behaving as if they are countries within their own, must stop, because they definitely have to work within the national security context. If there is no country, there will be no governor. If there is no state right now, how many of them can move freely into those local governments that are under the control of those places? So it means they don't even have control over that area. So what are you? You're not more governing that area. It has become a space governed by a non-state actor. So definitely they must not be allowed to remain in the state capital.